Out of the ruins, out of the wreckage. Can't make the same mistake this time. We are the children, the last generation. We're the ones they left behind. And I wonder when we are ever going to change, living under the fear till nothing else remains. We don't need another hero. We don't need another way home. We don't need to know the way home. All we want is life beyond Thunderdome. Looking for something we can rely on. There's got to be something better out there. So basically, today, the theme of our reading, because I dreamt about it, is about wanting to escape the sinful, reckless, spiritually desolate, toxic environments that we are surrounded in and that we also partake in. And being given an opportunity to escape those environments. It's not that those environments don't exist, but we are given an opportunity, if we follow the right path, to leave. Another message is about God giving us all our own unique and individual talents, and the devil coming in and trying to suppress those talents, oppress those talents, so that you remain in the same toxic cycles indefinitely until you can no longer run around that hamster wheel in your life anymore. God gives everyone the talents and skills necessary to climb out of the personal hell in which they live in. And you must connect with that. And this reading is about the 10 of grains here, Genesis 13:15, God's promise to Abraham, and the queen of feathers, Abigail, the peacemaker. So Abraham is told if he goes and follows God's will, he will be giving Abraham and all of his children land. And for a while, he remains, I believe, in a valley in Canaan. I'm not sure, but he remains in this valley. And he brings his nephew Lot with him. And they do really well, but the land in the area just becomes a little bit too small. So Abraham, with goodwill, separate says to Lot, you know what, let's just divide the land because we're arguing. You have first choice over what you want. And Lot chooses the most fruitful area of the land, and it's along the Jordan, close to Sodom and Gomorrah. And Abraham is left really with nothing but mountainous, rocky territory. And he really, it's not that fruitful. And he sits back and he thinks, you know, I was given this promise by God, and here I am sitting in nothing but rockiness. And Lot has taken the best part of the land. But, you know, that's what I felt was the most righteous thing to do. And God comes in and says, you don't fuck with my plans. I made plans for you. You cannot temper with my plans. You must have faith. I have made a promise for a reason to you. In the same manner that God makes a promise to every person, even taking the time to listen to this reading. God makes a promise to you at birth. You deserve something. And then everybody else gets in between, but God makes that promise to you. So then the last person get in between you and God's promise to you is just you. You and your choices. God gives us all the strength, the ability, the talents, and the skills to obtain what it is that he's promising us, but we get in the way of ourselves. In the same way that Abraham gets in the way of himself by allowing Lot to take the best portion of land. It wasn't up to Abraham to divide that land. And sure enough, Lot takes a chunk of land, puts himself in a poisonous area close to Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah gets destroyed, and Lot, by the luck of prayer, ends up being saved just as Sodom and Gomorrah goes down, but he loses his wife. So basically, you're being told God has made a promise to you in your life, and you can't see it. None of us can see it, but we get these little hints along the way, reminders that there is a greater creator at work here. There's a greater creator at work here. And it doesn't matter if you believe in Viking lore, if you believe whatever you believe in, you can't deny that there is a greater force than yourself at work here, regardless of how you want to write it. And I'm probably going to be struck down by lightning for that. But There is a greater force of nature at work, and you're going to call it many things based on your cultural background. And Abraham started meddling in the greater plan. But God circumvents that and still gives Abraham exactly what he was promised. And then we have the story here of Abigail, the peacemaker. And this gentleman here is David. Remember the story? We all heard it, David and Goliath. David takes on Goliath and he wins, and God wanted David to be the king of the Israelites, and King Saul becomes very upset by this and launches an all-out crusade against David, and David ends up living in the wilderness for a very long time. And while he's doing that, running from Saul with his band of men, he learns a lot of lessons that are extremely important for him when he becomes king so that he can govern the people properly. In the same manner that Abraham is out in the wilderness, these people have to go out into the wilderness to learn lessons. It's part of the process. Just as all of you are go through your own trials and tribulations in your life, and you go through extended periods of just like, what the heck is going on here? Why am I being faced with all this hardship? Hardship and challenges tempers you. It helps you evolve, and either you can take those lessons and can become more empathetic and compassionate and strategic, or you can become ruthless and selfish. Either way that you handle the challenges of life will dictate how you govern your life. God makes promises. Don't mess with his plan, even if you have the best intentions. Don't get in the way of your own prosperity. Utilize the gifts and talents that God has given you. You are not alone in wanting to escape this hardship and this pain and these toxic environments that you're surrounded in. We are surrounded by corrupt people. They are misled people. They are misguided people. They have lost their way. They are disconnected from the Creator. And no, this doesn't mean that I don't believe in a lot of spirituality. I'm just saying when it comes to the bigger picture, there is a creator, and we can label that creator whatever we want. And that creator comes and makes promises and intervenes through our lives. So we have David here, and there was a guy named Nabal, I believe. And Nabal had a lot of livestock, a lot of land. And there was a ceremony coming up when they were shearing the sheep or what have you. And David was low in resources and he had been protecting the sheep. He goes down, asks Nabal, not him, but he sends some people to ask Nabal for resources. Nabal refuses. He insults David. And David becomes extremely angry and threatens Nabal. Abigail was Nabal's wife. Nabal was a rude guy, and Abigail ran in, brought supplies, and pleaded. She interjected, she intervened. She was the voice of reason. She prevented war. And not only did she prevent war, but she prevented David from, from committing an atrocity that would have been against the Creator's will for David. David was to aspire to become a king. This event would have tainted David's progress and potentially corrupted him as a future ruler if he would have proceeded to kill Nabal and his family and his livestock, everything out of anger. So there's another lesson. Do not allow your anger and your frustration and the sinful behaviors of other people to corrupt you as a person. Abigail negotiates peace. There's another foreteller in your future that you will probably in the next few days encounter a female that will be the voice of reason to help you negotiate matters or negotiate around matters so you can stay on track with your path without deviating due to corruption, without getting in the way of yourself. There's going to be somebody in your life that is a bully, that is wrong, that is sinful, that has bad intentions, and they will be destroyed. Justice will be in your favor.